Hey, welcome to Squeal, the suppository of all knowledge. I'm Andy McNamara. Tonight I'm joined by Dean Arcuri, Malice Black and John Richards, and we are talking about free-to-air TV. Is it dead? Is it over? Is it bye-bye time?
I haven't watched it in years.
I know. Well, I've just started watching it again, right? So I haven't watched it because, maybe I might have got some other content from somewhere else. But, wow, ads. Wow,
Yeah.
you forget.
I know.
Especially
How annoying they are.
At the end of a movie, they show every 5 minutes and there's about 19 in a row.
It's crazy, isn't it? But we're going to have to go back because of the branders, aren't we? Because he's cracking down on the illegal download.
My issue with free-to-air TV is it's not good. I would happily watch free-to-air TV. I've got no problem with that.
Totally.
I have an issue with Australian content and the lack of how much of it that we get.
Did you see
and then we get
Puberty Blues? That was
NCIS on every single
Yes.
hour of the day, and I don't care for that. Or reality television.
Well, as
and-
someone who has written, free-to-air television, I would like to say that it is in fact dead. Yeah, no, because I was doing some research. Apparently, the 19 to 40-year-old, 16 to 40-year-old demographic, to 39 demographic, 20% fewer people in that demographic are watching TV now than they were in 2005.
Wow. We
but
don't normally allow people on this show who've done research.
the terrible thing is I know this off the top of my head, which is kind of sad, because I gave a talk at Dandenong Library last night, because I'm classy. And the viewing numbers overall haven't gone down as much as that percentage has gone down. So basically, while old people are still watching, younger people are all switching off in droves.
What are they doing?
Between having things screened
it's on demand, it's download, and that's the other thing about, because we are still, I think, in a golden age of television, but I'm not going to watch Mad Men with ads.
No.
I'm not going to
Exactly.
watch.
No.
And
you
you
want to
know
watch it all
what?
at once, too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All
The
at
free-to-air
once.
channels can't quite master with these shows that don't have commercial breaks where to put them in. They for some reason put them in the middle of a scene every single time.
Yeah.
There are edits for a reason.
And
then
Choice
cut the
magazine came out the other day. This is bizarre. Choice magazine is in favour of illegal downloading.
Yes, I saw that.
They defended the downloading of Game of Thrones
Yes.
because they were saying that Foxtel is using an out-of-date business model.
They are.
That isn't providing people what they want in the way
want.
they want it.
When
They
they
want
want it.
and the people will pay if you provide it in a way. So iView, for example, ABC iView was amazing. It's an amazing platform. Brilliant.
Netflix over in the US, like people are happy to
Yes.
pay
Hulu.
for it
Netflix
and be able to have all
Yep.
these options to be able to view it, but
Yep.
you need to provide it to them. Something Australia does about 10 years after everyone
Exactly.
else. But
And the commercial networks, the 7 one isn't very good.
Oh
like
my
all
God,
the
the one with friend in the name, I won't name it,
Yeah,
but that
yeah.
one is just constant reality TV from the States,
Yeah.
and wow,
And it's clearly like
so
they've got it there
bad.
because they know they have to have it there, but they don't want to provide it. Like
Yeah.
there's a real, I
Yeah.
think, a real tendency not to want to provide that.
I just find it
service.
really interesting when you're an organisation and the focus of your organisation is to provide infotainment. Like the whole point is to have people watch. Progressively over the past 5 to 10 years, they've wanted us to switch off. They've made it so we don't want to interact with them and we don't want to be a part of it. Isn't that the bedrock of what they do and how they do it?
So what should they do? How can they win us back?
Content.
Yeah.
And what
I mean,
content?
I personally, I lived in the UK for a few years, and one of the things I loved about the way in which the structure of UK television was that there was only a certain amount of content that couldn't be non-UK created content
Yeah,
that could
the
be
only
shown
thing.
before 9:30 at night. And you know what? It meant we got all these, it was a while ago, so we had Lost and Desperate Housewives and things like that, which were all on from 9:30 to like 1 in the morning, and people watched them and stayed up and watched them. But then you had all this content that was from the country that was made, and it forced, like imagine if we had that and we actually had a lot of, I'm not saying great Aussie work isn't being done, but there's not that much of it and people aren't noticing it.
Yeah,
They're not
'cause you
seeing
can name, like
good
on one hand, the good shows, right?
Yeah, Outland,
So, like,
that was great.
Exactly,
And
that one was
available on
fantastic, of
ABC
course.
shops and centres.
No ads or
But it's
anything. But
true,
Puberty
like-
Blues, I think, was fantastic, and there are a couple, but
Puberty Blues is an interesting one because that's one of the only shows that was hitting that
Yeah.
younger demographic,
Perfectly.
but
Yeah.
it didn't rate well.
No.
But that was, so the audience wanted to see that, but the younger audience doesn't want to watch it on air with the tedious
ads.
So is part of the problem what we will watch? We watch
I-
shitty
how we
stuff.
watch
We
it.
watch
Yeah,
MasterChef.
totally.
I think it's the way it's provided. I mean, things like MasterChef have to be watched live. Sport and reality has to be watched live because that's the only point of
The
it.
nature of it.
The nature of it is that you're meant to be watching it as it
and
happens.
sharing the experience of others.
If you look at the time-shifted
Tweeting about
ratings,
it,
the
yes.
top 20 time-shifted shows, wow, I know a lot of stuff
What-
off the top of my head.
What are
The
time-shifted shows?
Time-shifted shows are things that people have watched. It used to be within 3 days of transmissions,
okay.
recorded or
Yep.
TiVoed or whatever. Now it's up to 30 days. They actually look at those numbers.
So that's the
But-
iView kind of.
Yeah, it's sort of like an iView, but more the recorded version of the iView.
But also
19 out of 20
sorry.
are scripted, a comedy or drama, and they go up a lot. They often like double their ratings because that's how people want to watch that stuff. So what I think is more now is it's the way of providing the content. And so people like 10 and 7 and 9 have to start going, here's a really good iView type model, a platform.
and
So
you can watch this stuff when you want.
Free to air at a set time is dead.
It's
but
dead.
Free
That's
to
absolutely
air.
dead. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but let's,
Yeah,
then they started
content,
doing this
yeah.
whole fast tracking thing, and they made it like they're doing something special. If you can
Yes.
get the show 24 hours later, why aren't you putting that on and keeping on moving?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just do it, and because
Yeah.
we will watch it. Like I don't watch something as soon as I don't illegally. Look at me going illegally. It's actually that way. Watch something immediately, but if you provide it, then we'll watch it.
So you feel almost insulted that you've been stuffed around by these networks that don't really go to any effort to provide what you want.
I feel like the Australian free-to-air, not all of them, but let's face it, there are the big three that compete against each other. I feel like
naming
they're very
names.
well. I feel like they're lazy in their approach, and they've taken the Australian public for granted and their viewership for granted, and a lot of the way in which they view things and assume things, and now it's biting them in the arse.
Right. So community TV is going to bury
Well,
that.
of course, this is it. We can't get rid of free to air because we're on it. Yes. Yes.
We are on the internet too.
Well,
People
yes,
can watch it any time.
yes, but yeah, right now we're on it, and so the reality TV that seems to be what people are wanting still, right? Because it's still being, we're bombarded with it on that channel that I mentioned. There was a show I caught the other night called Operation Repo. Has anyone seen that?
Is it about
wow,
cars?
it's so bad.
But in countries like America, where they have such a huge population, so many different things, of course, it's cheap and it's easy and they're going to make them and it's quick. When we're here, like I get MasterChef had its little, everyone loves it and the block and blah, 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 blah. But I just want some great content and I'll watch it. I watch
some drama.
Yeah,
Cool,
exactly.
cool. Yeah, we cheap TV, we never go for that here. We are not quality. You're watching Squeal. We will see you next time. Thanks.